Good evening, dandies. Welcome to Undetermined, the podcast.
Welcome,
everybody.
We're doing it.
We are doing it. Thanks for tuning in on Undetermined the podcast. You get to see our ugly mugs again. We're doing more and more of these videos, and that's great. Special guests tonight, Ben White and Michael Dye from Godzillionaire.
Yay!
Hey guys, nice to talk to you again.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely one of our favorite bands and favorite people, just in general. Excited about so many things. New release coming out very soon. Working on it in the studio, which I bated breath, drooling, all that material coming up soon. Is this is album 4?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I also saw you got some covers too in the work too, which I'm really interested. I don't know if you can talk about what they are or anything, but we'll get into that. But it's great to have you guys on. I love talking to you. I love hanging out with you. Everything else, you're just two fantastic guys, and in one of the best bands I've ever heard in my life.
Man, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Though.
Thank you.
It's true though.
It's been like one of the most pleasant surprises since we started doing this podcast, is getting to know you guys and your stuff, man, because you're fucking awesome.
And I'm going to be real honest with you. I got to learn a lot about artists that I really respect because of being associated with this podcast.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm dead serious. Yes.
Great interviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spectacular. Yeah, I love it when we can help each other out. I think we're all kind of learning that. Well, I mean, sure, people knew that before, but I mean, over the last just few months, man, I've been talking so much with other podcasters, other bands, everything. It's like networking's the way to go, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Just helping support each other and looking at what other people are doing and sharing that, and it just keeps getting tighter, which is great. Everybody's just become more and more of a family on the show, and it touches my heart, man. It really does.
Right. And I've alluded to it before. I think Lawrence clued into that way before a lot of places have.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like,
I hear some dissent.
I don't know. There's kind of the kingpin there. Ben's in, like, I think you're required to have Ben in the band if you're in the Lawrence area.
So
right.
Too many.
Nah.
How many are we up to?
3 now, right?
Yeah, and I mean, well, I've got a few other projects other than that aren't really bands, but I've got Godzillionaire, I've got Vedettes, I've got They Watch Us from the Moon, helping Mark out with a couple other side projects, one of which is Primitive Race, and kind of trying to finish up a few things on that and get it out, and then also one of Mark's close friends from way back, Alice, Texas, came into town not too long ago, and they did a little living room session where I just set up a few mics and just kind of got some stuff live in the room there. So we're kind of working on that too. So I mean, the only thing holding me back is the day job.
Yeah,
right.
Having trying to live indoors is just takes a lot.
I know what the fuck.
No, but I think Matt's got a point. I mean, we, when we were younger, living in like Springfield, Missouri, there were so many bands that were just so cliquey and just didn't connect with each other and didn't work together. And I mean, there's a lot of ego going on in like the early 90s and, things like that, where people wouldn't, claim one clique or claim another. There is something to Lawrence. It seems like everybody's just ready to
each other's music too.
Yeah.
Like that. Definitely a thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. I don't know. We're blessed to be in a music community where nobody really gives a fuck about that. They're like, what you're doing is awesome. What we're doing is awesome. Let's do awesome together all the time.
Yeah, anything that helps one band is going to help the other band, and everybody just gives each other a little bit of a leg up. Eventually, everybody,
Right.
rising tide raises all boats and all that.
Absolutely.
Well, also,
Yeah.
I think sometimes there's just a mentality of let's just play together, and if people show up, who fucking cares? Like we get
Right.
we get to listen to
We're gonna have
each
fun.
other have fun. You know,
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna have fun no matter what.
Sometimes I feel like it's a really infectious, atmosphere to be in, and we try and suck as many other bands that we think are cool into that atmosphere if we can.
Right, you've been to shows, right, where there are like 10 people there, and you can tell the band's just kind of bummed.
Right.
Right. Oh man.
We just kind of started, getting super smiley and clowning around and like laughing with each other and stuff like that. And then eventually, I don't know, some of the shows that were not well attended ended up being some of the funnest at times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. John and I have talked about it. It's not quite the same, but even with a podcast, like some of our favorite episodes are the ones that just hardly have any listens registered
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's the one you guys need to hear. You're listening to this huge rock star, and he's okay, right? But you need to check out this one.
Right. Yeah.
I think for us, it should be recognizable, I think, on this album, but for us, it allowed us to really expand into being unafraid to try shit in a live setting.
Yeah.
Right.
And we really, I think, right before COVID and even definitely right after it, the first couple shows we did, we kind of took some of the guardrails off and just started going with the flow. They're specifically, I think, recording this album, we put each other into a situation at times where we're just like, fuck it, like let's just go in there and record it and see what happens.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very noticeable, I think, moving forward.
In a good way?
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Both for the record and us as a live entity. And there's no telling, because there's no telling really what's going to happen from here moving on.
Right. Yeah, that's one of my big questions I find that keeps repeating is it's like when somebody's recording, I always ask, how much do you think how much are you thinking about translating what you're doing into a live performance versus what you're doing in the studio?
Per song basis. Really.
Yeah, really?
There's gonna be a couple things on this record where we're gonna be fucking with your head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on purpose. It's not something, it's something we've captured live and now we can hone in on it and really have fun with it. Because we know each other well enough. Paul is like godsend producer for this.
He's so good.
Typically, because we're all just dialed in on what we want to do and how we want to make it sound, and it's been phenomenal.
Yeah,
man, it's been just. It's like a playground when we start recording things anymore. It doesn't feel like it's something we have to do to get our music out. Like it kind of felt definitely on the first record we did. Like, fuck, we've been doing this thing for 3-4 years now. Let's just go to the studio and record it. And then we tried to do it ourselves. We're like, oh my, like it could have taken forever. We finally had to hand it off to a good friend and let them mix it and walk away from it. Now we're fully immersed from day one, recording this thing from the ground up. We know we usually have played this song a good year, 2-3 years. Now we know how we want to attack it, whether we have to do it in my house, Ben's house, Paul's studio, and it's going to be noticeable.
Right on.
Yeah. We've become a much better band, even though for a long time we didn't get to play together.
Right.
But as soon as we got back to it, man.
No, it was, I mean, after not being able to get in a room together and play for, year and a half, 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Once we finally got back to it. I mean, I think we had like one night of kind of, like, okay, we're back here kind of doing it. Okay, that was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. And then the next practice back, it was all of a sudden, holy hell, everybody's got some pent up ideas. And we're cooking with gas now. That was actually one of the, strategy, at least, I was comfortable with trying on this new album is because I'm generally, anytime we're practicing, I mean, we always kind of surprise ourselves with some of the songs, it's, we might have a general idea for how a song goes, but then, might not have a way to like bridge, the first part to the second part or how to end it or anything like that. So I always have, my phone recording every single practice that we're at.
Because normally when we did Negative Balance, we had played those songs for quite some time before they were recorded.
Had them all demoed.
Yeah, like home demoed to the T. Like, this is going to happen here. Like
this is exactly how it goes.
There's going to be keys and like all sorts of this happening in the theme, and like we'll get someone to record this, poem or whatever, and do the piano. Like all of that was very calculated, whereas this record was definitely not that.
It's an adjustment. Yeah.
I don't even know if it was an adjustment as much as once we got back in practice a good 3 to 4 times, we were just like, fuck it, set the date. Let's go. We're just going to do it. And then we practiced a few more times before that. And we just hit the ground running. And like the excitement of when we got in the room and we're getting things set up with Paul, and we're just like,
yeah.
Like the fact that we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we're like ready to get back at it, and just knowing that from day one we're going to be getting good stuff because it's all going to be recorded at all times while we're trying to figure it out. And we captured some things that I think are very, like, you wouldn't know that not seeing us as a live band, Like, if you just have the record and you've heard it, like the difference, I think we're finally getting closer to capturing that on record.
Yeah.
More and more. We
kind of going into that and what we were talking about, just like everybody coming together. What drew you guys to each other, like as a band?
At the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we may have talked about this before, but I think it was really when I was in a band called The Old Black that had played with Mark's band 1950 DA a few times, and we kind of had a mutual respect thing happening. And then when my band quit, Mark invited me out just to like jam with those guys for a while. And I think we did that for about 1.5 years, 2 years. And it was kind of, we had fun, but I don't think it was anything that, it didn't really hit the spot like, later things would. And then when that kind of fizzled out, we needed a bass player, and obviously known Mike for a really long time. Mike's band left on Northwood, and my band, The Old Black, used to play together here and there.
And I was playing guitar.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
And Mike is a better guitar player than I am in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways. You want some speed and precision and some metal loveliness? Mike's the guy.
Break one out, man. I want to hear a riff.
There you
go. I'll send you something. I had fun.
All right, cool.
Well, yeah, send a link to Left on Northwood stuff for sure. But so then, first time Mike came in the room, I think, we had that first night, I think it was like, pretty promising as far as just kind of like the little things we were working on. And then by the second time we got together, some really cool ideas just really started coming. I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to work. And, Mike and I have just, got a really symbiotic relationship when it comes to this band, as far as, he plays one idea and I'll play something that makes him think of his next part, or vice versa. It's always
like ping pong.
Yeah, there's no arguing.
Riff ping pong, just hey, there's a riff. Let's make it cooler.
Yeah. Like it all just kind of happens in the room. There's no real discussion about it, or no arguing, or this part should happen, or this part should happen. Like it just kind of happens live, and then we all kind of, based on what Mark starts doing on it, kind of the song kind of starts to take shape from there. And I will say too, the first time we tried Cody out, it was just a night that only Cody could make it, or only Cody and I could actually make it to this particular jam. It was the first time playing with him, and he started playing a little drum part and all that stuff, and I kicked in, and we wrote a song that very first time we played it. I wish we could remember it. I didn't record it.
Oh wow!
But it was like immediately for me. As soon as we got done practicing, with Cody. I hollered at the other guys like, "This is the guy. This is the guy." definitely come and see for yourself. But we're not trying out any other drummers in my opinion, and it's just now
the
Cody
search was definitely over when I played with the first time with him. Sure.
Cody always plays the perfect thing, and I've always, that's part of the reason going into the studio somewhat unprepared. Some of the songs we knew how they were going to go, and other ones were a little bit loose. And as I said earlier, Cody was none too happy about being put on the spot like that. So he would actually kind of try jam out and write the song in the studio. But that guy reached down into his nervousness or anxiety or whatever he was feeling about the situation and pulled out my favorite drumming that I've heard him do so far. So it's
wow.
Just he's such an expressive player. He's got such a great feel, and just really, if you get an drummer who can connect to songs emotionally and play in such a way that actually brings more out of it like that,
right.
It's just hold on to that person.
And then Mark just comes in and
ninja style.
I can't wait for you guys.
Oh man, I'm excited. But yeah, I think
I was excited about Negative Balance, but I'm fucking. I think this may be the best thing I ever put any sort of musical input into. Period. I'm very excited.
Cool.
What's about to happen with this?
Yeah, we're excited to get it done. We're ready.
But I mean, if some people have some trepidation about that, I can see it. But I mean, with Cody, I think just what I do know of him and knowing him a little bit, he's such a sincere person. Yes. So he's not going to bullshit, and he's not going to be like, if he's uncomfortable with something, he's going to let you know.
He'll let you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
I love that about him.
Yeah, and that's going to come out with honesty in music. And like I say, it's one of the most important things to me when I'm listening to music is if I can tell that it's sincere, it's what's really meant, and it's not like derivative, or it's not following a formula, or it's not just, shit, it's time to make another hit, that nobody cares or believes about. But yeah, I can definitely see that about it.
I got news. If you thought Negative Balance had like different, genres and songs going on, you better buckle up.
All right.
Yeah. There's some things that we did on there's specific song I'm thinking of right now that will completely come out of left field, and like every part of it is probably like the nutshell of this band is like a real core of what we're about, which is grab an idea out of the ether and just turn it into like audio just awesomeness.
Well, I think that's a cool thing too, is like explaining to people when I turn them on to you, and Mikey, when we, you came over here and we hung out that night till the birds started chirping after you played Columbia, and it was like
Bush Black, yes,
yeah,
I do vaguely remember this.
Bits and pieces, but it's like, and it was just so amazing. It's like you're turned on to so many like industrial acts and shit that I listen to, and your music and taste is all over the place. YouTube, and it's just like, it's like, wow, you wouldn't think these guys are like into Peter Murphy or KMFDM or any of these groups when they're so solidly like a very good or metal band. And but yeah, I just like, that's one thing I always tell people when I turn them on you is like, yeah, but these guys have.
If I learned anything from especially like industrial music, Skinny Puppy being a really big one, like there's no fucking rules. The rules, just take the rules and go, no, we don't need those. No, we're not doing that. Let's just do whatever comes out. And
speaking of no rules, would you please admire Mike's new metal glassware?
Wow.
There's a little Wayne Static right there.
Corey, I see.
Mudvayne guy. Is that Jonathan Davis?
I think it's John Davis.
There's
the goat, Fred. There's the goat, Fred.
RS Press on Instagram. My buddy Savage. Great guy. He made this glassware for a couple of the homies, and he gave some out at the Limp Bizkit show we went to a couple months or like a year ago now. I love that guy.
Send me a link.
Also, like, I in the mid '90s and late '90s, I was definitely a fan. Anyway,
yeah. And same guy who lent his screams to that middle section of
Yes.
Laughable.
On Laughable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like
one of my
kind of
favorite.
a high metal scream in the background over that part. That's James.
Nice.
He's one of the only people where I've been in a like 40-foot by 50-foot warehouse room, and his voice like was shaking my skin.
Oh wow!
As we were trying to record him doing another project, I was like, holy! Like it's not like vocal trickery in the mic and the effect box.
He sounds like
his
that.
voice is very loud and it's very terrifying if he wants it to be.
Now I was in a band with James way back in the day with Shane from They Watch Us from the Moon. His band called True Cell at the time, and one of my favorite reviews we ever got was, Savage screams so loud he makes my throat bleed.
God, he's good people.
Yeah, lovely gentleman.
But yeah, like there's no rules. There's no fucking rules. None. Zero to be had. If we want to make a song that sounds like Heart, we're gonna fucking do that.
Yeah,
if that's what the time calls for, like, we pulled that out and we're gonna make it happen. And that's
we're genuinely just following our own enthusiasm and not really thinking about like what kind of songs do we want on this album? What do we want this album to sound like? It's really just chasing the best ideas, and
that's freeing to be able to do that.
Yeah. And we trust each other. We've been playing together long enough, and there's such friendship and mutual respect in this band, and trust that there's no one person in the band that has to tell anybody else really what to do at any point. I mean, we collaborate and we say, hey, on this part maybe this and this and that, but it's just it's always just throwing the ball back and forth. And we tend to write a lot of songs, and kind of just out of it for every, I don't know, probably I'd say 20, 25 songs we write, maybe 10 will end up on an album. And it's just really just listening back to what we did in the practice space and being, whichever one kind of just really perks up our interest, or, oh, that kind of gives me this feeling, or, pushes this button for us. Then that's, anything that gets our enthusiasm going, that's what we're following. So.
Yeah. And it still sounds like a Godzillionaire album to you?
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could see that. Just the muscle memory and the style. I mean, you guys have certain style for sure.
Oh, it's still work in progress. I think we probably got a couple more sessions before we start mixing it and really figuring out how we want to release it.
We got a lot of good work done in the last couple of weeks. I think we finished up 2 more vocals on songs, and I think that leaves us with I think just 3 or 4 more to do, and one's already half done, and they just need to figure out the ending, and then other than that, I mean, everything's pretty much written. Just a matter of getting together and trying to get a free night when we're all available.
Yeah,
nice.
Right on.
Any fun promotions coming up for the new album? Like I can show my ass again or anything like that?
I forgot about that.
I just came across that the other day and I was like, oh yeah. Yep. I'm glad my wife has never seen that.
I don't know that I will ever watch that again. I do know that we were dealing with some serious cabin fever at the time.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, how can...
Yeah. It actually goes a little further in the original video, and I felt so sorry for Ben having to edit it. Like we're in the crack, like where the sensor line is. But it's like, okay, that's a reasonable amount. Everything below that is like not safe for work. Right. But anything
right there.
I imagine him sitting there just ready to click.
It's like, okay,
right.
Pause, having a stare at Matt's ass.
Dimple, right? Just a dimple.
Right. It's not anything anybody needs. Is that the new album cover? Is that just going to be
just you wait?
Full shot.
Just you.
We're going back to the old
There's a pimple there. That's nice.
Back to the old chalkboard. That's definitely going high up on my list.
Check. And done.
Circling back to you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm still not really sure how we want to release it yet either. People have been asking for vinyl again, but man, it was the way we did it the first time was like the biggest Hail Mary pass we've ever
Right.
had. Like, I don't think anyone's actually going to want this. And they're like, oh, actually, it happened. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. But it's not like, I don't think we made really any money from that.
Oh, no.
'Cause they did all the
Yeah.
shipping, they did all the pressing, and I don't really feel comfortable trying to pull that off again because I want people to get like a substantial amount of worth out of what it is they're getting.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we made about $1.50 an album.
Or
On
something,
Yeah.
something terrible.
Wow.
For sure. But that wasn't the point. Like, I got a copy,
Nah, exactly.
you know,
I
and
did too. I mean,
it's tangible. It's a thing.
yeah.
I listen to music on my phone too, but it's a
Right.
little different when I can, like.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it probably helped that we were in the liner notes, but I mean, me and Matt are going to buy a copy.
yeah.
That's
Right.
probably not going to feed your
Right
cat.
up here. Yeah.
Yeah, if we can figure out a way to get it to more people's hands in any fashion they want it, we're gonna try and find it. So
Right.
that's definitely a thing. But I would imagine, man, a couple months from now, we'll have a tangible date and an answer
Wow.
as to when it's gonna actually. But it's close. It's dangerously close to
Cool.
getting it to where we want it to be. In the meantime, though, we are releasing some stuff here pretty quick. What's the dates?
Let's see. Well, this Friday, February 24th, and then and the following month, March 24th, which is a couple songs that. When we went in to record 30 days, same ass cash MFer, we got done with it pretty quickly, and we were still set up. So Paul's like, "You got anything else you want to play?" And I think we had gone in and like one of them we had planned on recording it, and then we did that, and then the other cover just came out of it just because we were already set up. And he's like, "Well," and then Mark had an idea for one to do, and we took a quick half hour to go kind of YouTube it, and listen to it and see if we thought we could get through it, and it came out pretty good. So,
So what's the first one coming out Friday?
Don't worry, we won't release this episode until Matt's got work to do.
It'll be at least Friday before it's out.
Right.
So.
Well, then we should just tell them.
The song will come out first.
It'll be out already.
Right. No, the first one we're doing is "Don't Change" by NXS.
Oh yes.
Oh, nice.
Part of that was inspired by.
That's not a place I would have seen you going. That's not a direction.
I think it really kicks the tone off of what's going to happen with this record, because it will have everything you know from us, but it's also going to veer pretty far out for a minute.
Yeah. No, right on.
Like that. Yeah.
So it's got, it's a decent mission statement, as well as just like all four of us love the fucking song. Like, who doesn't?
Yeah. So what were we talking about? Besides the record, hey, other things to talk about, guys. Congratulations, mainly to you, for the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I did not believe they were going to pull that out of their ass.
This would have been a great time to have Cody here because he's probably the only one invested.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I mean, the Super Bowl was the one football game I watched this year, and
oh, yeah.
Usually how that goes.
I watched it at my buddy Tim's house. We had a great time, but that was probably the second game of the year I watched. I don't know. I worked at a bar for so long after my income wasn't determined on what team was winning and when. I was just like, I just don't care anymore. It's been a little different, although it was great to watch. That was actually one of the coolest football games I've ever seen.
It was a really good game.
No matter who was going to win, that was amazing.
Yeah. I
That
really
part I
think.
can definitely respect for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, him hurting his ankle all over again right before
Mhm.
the second half was
Right.
like,
Man.
ooh boy, I don't know if they got.
No, man, you could see it in his face. It hurt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
We also have had multiple UFOs shot down across Canada and America.
Everybody's fucking with my balloons.
Everybody's fucking with balloons.
Bad time to be a balloon enthusiast. I'm just now
Yeah.
enjoying my new hobby. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn,
That
F-20.
would be, yeah.
My wife was even the point. She's like, "Is this it? Is this like how good?" Because like it was her birthday weekend too, and
Right.
we were like,
This is
we're
how the
cooking
missiles
street
start
tacos
flying,
and
right?
we're having fun and drinking wines. Like this is like the perfect time, for there to be an alien invasion.
All right.
In the movie scene where it's like, oh, ain't nothing bad going to happen today. All of a sudden, these things are, coming down. And I think it's funny too. I was reading articles today. It's like they're not really making any effort of recovery of any of these things or anything. They're just like, well, fuck it, they're gone.
How would you? Or why?
I don't know.
I know they recovered the one shot down over the Atlantic. I don't know about the other one.
Well, yeah, that was a definite balloon though. That was the Chinese balloon.
And then you pull it out of the water and you're like, yep, it's fucked.
Yep, look at
that. Cool.
Wow, that's what happens when you hit one of these things with a missile.
Right, exactly.
No, one of the funniest things to me was just like members of Congress being like, this administration is dragging their feet about telling us what they know about UFOs. Like, where the fuck have you been the last 70 years?
Right.
Welcome to reality. Yeah.
It's like this has been. I mean, I love everybody just treating this like a new thing. It's,
Right.
No,
Yeah.
this shit's been going on for years. It's just
Blue
we
Book
noticed it.
Yeah, like Blue Book and Grudge never existed, and all those projects. It's
Sure.
funny.
Yep. Oh, what? UFO? What?
No, it's just
Yeah.
like suddenly
Yeah.
we had the balloon and then everyone started looking up.
Right.
That's
Well,
oh,
and
look,
that's
there's more.
right. And that's what I guess Canadian scientists were saying. They were just like, this is a phenomenon called sky trash, which I love that
Right.
fucking name anyway. Great band name. Sky trash.
It's a good song title too.
It
There's
is.
also fucking satellites. Like,
Right.
why on earth would they just be like, let's just see if a balloon works? Like,
Oh,
no, that's
Yeah.
not how that
Yeah.
happens.
Right? They can send a missile
I
down your
agree.
chimney.
That's somebody's trash. flying around.
Right.
That's like the little, like
It's a
the
Walmart
the
bag.
wax lantern things you put in the sky and they burn
Yeah.
out. Like,
Some
that's just
Cambodian
trash.
festival.
That's-
Just we.
Right. There's going to be like, oh my God, just next state over, the next Japanese.
Somebody was like,
lantern
I'm going to
festival.
hang this solar panel in the sky with this balloon. Shit. Like,
Yeah. And that's
yeah,
exactly
there
what
it goes.
that's exactly what Canadian scientists were saying. They're like, this shit flies around up there all the time. And they were like, nobody gave a fuck at all until the Chinese balloon came over Montana, and then they were like, now we're shooting them down. It was like, but who knows what we're shooting down? I don't know. They're just like sky trash.
Right. Well, sky trash the size of a small car, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
That-
what I
that's
want
another
answers
thing
to.
with the-
So-
Okay. Yeah, no, that was absolutely me. Sorry, apologies.
Motherfucker.
Mea culpa.
Well, good.
Um,
Well, the Pentagon overheard our conversation and like,
That's it. They're coming after us.
right.
Shit, man. If they were going to come at, well, surely we've been bugged by now. We've had
Oh,
some
fuck.
really crazy
Absolutely.
ass episodes. We've talked to FBI agents and
I was gonna say, they just
fun reps.
Watching
And,
me play Fallout and Call of Duty. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're like, oh, he's playing guitar again. Fuck.
yeah. Some people are like, literally, don't say bomb on the phone. They're like, we have had Representative MUFON and an FBI agent on the show at the same time, and we are not scared.
I lived in a house that got raided with my name on the lease. That shit's
Oh, wow. Let's hear that story.
What's that?
So let's hear that fucking story.
is the statute of limitations up on that, or is it?
You fucking know. I'm not going to tell you where it was at, but got raided, and I walked outside the front door, and then came back after my friend went to jail, and we bailed him out of jail. And then he came right back to the house and pulled an ounce of weed out of the recliner.
wow.
And our lives continued. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
So Nothing related to like
yes.
national security or anything like that. Just
Well, the best part was because they came in illegally, they had to drop it no matter what. So
fuck you.
yeah, the person that got arrested, all charges dropped and whatever. They got all of our paraphernalia, which was hilarious collection.
Oh, look, it's a Coke can.
Right, yeah. Basically like homemade pipes and shit for sure.
Right.
Like the one official like headshot piece we had is a steamroller. That was about it.
I love
Everything else was contraptions.
I love those pictures from like Weed Busts online. It's like I remember seeing one and it was like one of the
this would have been a fucking hilarious one.
Right? I thought it was like a big glass bong. This was an arrest in southern Missouri years ago, and it's like it was made out of like a naked lady and had like big boobs, so they like put the black across the nipples,
like pixelated, yeah,
right, pixelated awesome. Nipples. And was like,
wow. Incredible. We took this off the streets. Like, what? Those high school kids were doing nothing to anyone else.
I would imagine those Christians in southern Missouri are probably more offended to see cleavage on the news than they were taking weed off the streets.
Yeah, man smokes weed, but get the boobs off my
no boobs. Yuck.
We surely can't have
that. No. Junky perverts. Oh, so yeah, you're looking at a timeline of how long? You say about a couple months. You think you're gonna?
I think within a couple months we'll be done. Definitely be done tracking. I would imagine we'll have a pretty good head start on mixing at that point too. So I would say probably. I'm hoping that we can get this wrapped up by sometime in June.
Cool.
Yeah.
New merch ideas? You got anything else going on besides the
we need to work on that. I don't know. We gotta. Yeah, we still got to figure out album artwork. We don't even know what the album's going to be called yet. We got 90 names, currently making the rounds and all that. But whereas we know that eventually we're going to call an album "Diminishing Returns." But we're thinking, we got
that theme.
Gotta make that the last one. I think. Just all right. One more for the road, y'all.
The last song being "Diversify Your Bonds."
There it is.
Where did the name Godzillionaire come from?
A very long list of hilarious band names until it was just like that one.
Yeah,
as far as I remember it.
I mean, it was basically one of the few like actual ones that we would actually consider in the middle of like a mile of jokes.
Yeah,
right on. Well, that's what I thought when I see it. It gives me a grin. Yeah.
Well, and it's to a certain extent, it being really long is also just hilarious. Like the As someone who's put up marquees for several bands, one where you're like,
I'm gonna be out here all day.
Right.
And you're like,
your overlapping letters, and it's a good time.
Right. It turns out like that's why U2 was big, because it was just easier to put up on the marquee.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll bring those guys in. I can't do Godzillionaire.
Right. Tonight, Godzi.
Yeah, GZ. Yeah.
GZ. Yeah. Well, right on, man. We're really looking forward to it. We know artists as well. Just, let us know. I know a lot of good artists. And Kelly Bowers, shout out to you. She's gonna be watching. So
she's the best.
If I don't shout out to Kelly, she's gonna be mad. So.
I mean, 7 too. Like,
oh yeah, 7 Black.
Yeah.
Man, incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
What a guy.
They got a new one coming out too.
Yeah, they do. They've been recording. Yeah. I'm very excited. Now they're in Colorado.
Oh, okay. Which studio? Do you know?
Ghost Town, I think.
Is that like where Pink Fuzz?
I can't remember, but John Demetrio, Pink Fuzz is like they did Headlight Rivals did a little teaser on their socials or whatever, and he was playing the solo, I think. So I think it's the same studio Pink Fuzz records at out there in Colorado. Ghost something.
Okay.
I feel like an idiot, but
Oh, that's
circling
right.
back to Seven being an amazing human being.
Yeah.
He's great. I love
He's
Seven.
great. Fucking
Yeah.
love him.
We all
Yeah.
got Christmas cards from him, I'm guessing.
We did.
Yep, I did.
Yes.
He sent me a fuzz pedal that I used. I had to use his pedal board in Manhattan. We played a show because somehow, some way, the first show back to getting after it was with the Velveteers in Manhattan, and we get there. I opened the van up, and I was like, "Holy shit! I left my pedal board back in Lawrence."
Oh no!
And thank God, Seven being the glorious human being, he's like, "You can just use mine." Then he couldn't be more excited to be like,
I could see that. I could totally see that.
And as soon as I plugged it in, turned the amp on, and I was like, "Holy shit! I really need to start rethinking my situation here."
You're right.
Right.
But one of the pedals he had is specific to him, and he sent me one. He just asked for my address out of the blue and was like, "What's your address?" Like, "Here, why?" And he was like, "I got something coming for you." And then 3 days later, I have this amazing fuzz pedal.
Wow.
And it's on my board now, and I've been, man, it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I
mentioned
mentioned it before in the episode a long time ago, but he did so much artwork and stuff. It's on my my Facebook as my the background is one of his works. And I mean, literally, it just looked like he poured so much time in just for shits and gigs. I mean, he didn't, he wasn't doing it commissioned. Anything else? Yeah, the Danny McCandy mascot on our on a hoodie there that I have. One of my favorite pieces. Just feel like, here you go.
All around amazing dude.
Nah, he just operates out of love all the time. It's great.
All the time. Spectacular cat. But man, guys, I'm so looking forward to this. I can't wait for this
Absolutely.
record.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah, and we'll send you something here pretty shortly once this wraps up, just to get you an idea of where things are headed.
Right on. Looking forward to it.
I think we may as well send you Don't Change too, because by the time this gets released, everyone will be doing it anyway. So why not?
Right.
Especially with somebody's mic getting unplugged all the time and fucking the whole thing up. I don't know who that was.
I don't know. He's not invited back though.
No.
This is a typical Godzillionaire experience. Something is always failing or shows up late or something's always amiss. So this is perfect.
No, that's why the idea of us operating our own airline was just hilarious.
What could go wrong? Yeah.
You can't have any fuck ups if you're in that business. So,
Who forgot the keys?
We need to stop for gas, guys.
What's with gas in this thing?
You can't smoke in here. You're the pilot. You should know that.
Is that a balloon? Go get it.
Nah.
Yeah, hold on, everybody.
We're gonna go check this out.
Yep, Sky Trash. All right. Well, you guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah, sounds good.
I think we're good. Ben, Mikey, thanks for coming on, man. Good to see you guys. Can't wait for you to come back around here, and we can party and hang out and jam out. This sounds
for sure. We definitely want to hang out again soon.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you guys in person again. We've had a blast every time.
I know for a fact, by the time we get this album out and we're playing shows again, we'll be coming back to Como too.
Right on.
Nice.
Specifically, probably with that band on your shirt because they're such amazing.
Oh, fuck yeah, man! Many Colored Dust, shout out.
Did you see Shay's feature the other day?
Yeah. I was just about to mention that.
We're in the group chat, like, oh my god, she's so fucking badass,
just amazing. Like,
shout out to.
Like I told you, there's so many fuck yes moments just in that one video. I'm like, you're just badass all the time. How do you
all the time, nonstop, and such a cool person, Such a great gal to hang out with and everything. And so, yeah, special shout out to Shay Spence of the Many Colored Death and being featured in Sick Drummer with her playthrough.
Incredible.
Well earned.
I can't
well
think
earned.
of
Yeah.
more deserving person. Oh, God.
For sure.
Good job, Thundercat. All those guys, Preston.
Amazing people, amazing band, just such talented musicians. It's
Mm-hmm.
get schooled every time I see them, for sure.
Absolutely. And I do want to mention also, and I said I would mention, not to enter on a downer note, but BC, Brian Craig from Don't Mind Dying.
Yeah.
Also, they suffered a devastating house fire.
Oh man!
Oh no!
Just lost. I mean, if you saw this guy's record collection, so many things just totally irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Collector's items that are going to be missing from the history of rock and roll, not just his house.
Right.
Just an absolute real guy and a pillar of the community and the music scene here.
Man, that's God.
It's so horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't.
Horrible
I
to
can't
talk
even
about.
fathom.
It's horrible to talk about, sorry, but I'm trying more and more. Just keep promoting, keep pushing what we can to help them out.
No, absolutely.
And that's what we need to do instead of focusing on the negative. Is
let the music keep healing us, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for anybody who thinks things like insurance will cover, insurance covers that, but it won't cover. They'll pay. Oh, you had a record. That's $1.
You can't fire up the vinyl plant and be like, "Can you repress that real quick?" No, that's not.
It was signed by Keith Richards. Well, that record's $1. That's what we'll give you. That's how it'll go down with insurance. So, regardless of whether or not they were insured, he's going to be missing so much. They lost 3 of their cats. I mean, they're only kids they had. It was awful. It was terrible.
I got 3 cats here right now. I'm gonna hug them so hard after this.
But thank you guys. Like I say, we're just drooling so stoked for this new record.
Absolutely.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on Term of the Podcast. Special guest.
Love you guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
From Godzillionaire. Have a good night, man.
Bye.
Bye. And